Hey Sean, guess what today is?
Yeah, today is Tuesday.
Tuesday. What else does it mean? Tuesday. What do we do on Tuesday?
Well, let's see. There's two chairs and there's two guys, so I think it's Two Chair Tuesday.
Two Chair Tuesdays. Thank you guys so much for watching this K through 5. Make sure you're watching this with your parents. Parents, get all the downloads that are linked to the video, as well as students. Make sure you're logged in, watching, and get in touch with your small group leader. So Sean, there's something behind us right now. It's a little bit different. We're trying something here.
Yeah, it's green screen.
Green screen. So what does that mean we can do?
It means that we can go different places.
Yeah, especially right now. The quarantine's got us all messed up. We're locked in the house. Where would you like to go?
Well, I tell you what, I am tired of the quarantine. So one of my favorite places that I've always wanted to go is London.
London. You ready to go to London? Let's go to London.
Let's
Ready?
do it.
Here we are, London. Is it Big Ben?
Yep, that's Big Ben. I see it.
Well, Sean, let's go ahead and get our Bibles open. There was something that happened this past Sunday at church. There was a special day we always celebrate once a year. Hopefully we don't forget about this. But what was Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday was what we know as is Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
Very special day.
Very special day. We get to honor and bless our mothers and all the women in our life that have made a huge impact on us. So we're going to jump to a portion of Scripture that we're all reminded of on Mother's Day, and that's Proverbs 31. And we're going to be specifically talking about verses 10 through 31, and it's talking about a woman of faith. So right now, let's jump into our Bible. As we're in London here, we're going to go verse 10. It says, "An excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels." This verse starts it out, and it's basically laying the foundation for the whole lesson of a woman of faith is far more precious than any diamond or pearl or anything that we can possibly find here, that a woman of faith is more precious than that. So that's pretty cool to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as we go on in the text, Rob, I mean, in verse 14, it says that a woman of faith is compared to something, and it says she is like merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. Now, this isn't saying, of course, that a woman of faith or a mother or is like a ship. I mean, all it's talking about is the fact that, hey, she cares for her family. She provides for her family. And yes, I mean, she does provide food. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, speaking about food and travel, I know a mom usually does all that stuff, and we are so thankful for it. But what else? All this food and travel and all that stuff, what's that remind you of? And speaking of a ship, have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, we went on a cruise a couple of years ago, and it was awesome. Matter of fact, we want to go back.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Ready?
Yep.
Here we are on a cruise in the middle of the quarantine. My goodness, this is so cool having a green screen. So let's jump back into our Bibles. Verse 16 says this. It says, "She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard." So this is simply going off what Sean, you just said about caring for the family and the things that she does. And obviously she is saving up her money basically to take care of her family. That's what it's saying. And she's investing the quality time into her family. And that's what a woman of faith does. And so does it mean that all women of faith have to go buy a field and plant a vineyard?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, if you want to do that, if you've got a green thumb, that's great. But no, that's not what it's saying. It's just, again, talking about providing, talking about caring for, talking about loving, doing those things.
Yeah, and speaking about loving mothers, moms always, or wives, they always like to plan ahead on things. Speaking of planning ahead, I would always like to go to Disney World. I mean, and obviously you got to plan ahead to go there because they're like booked up. You want to go right now during the quarantine? They're closed, I heard, but we can go.
Yeah, I think so. You ready
Let's
to
go
go?
to Disney World. Boom. Here we are, Disney World. So speaking about plans and how moms make all these plans, or your wife makes all these plans, she's the one planning ahead always. Now, me personally, I don't like to plan ahead. It reminds me of a story when I was a little kid. I was like 3rd or 4th grade. It was pretty warm outside, and Mom said, "Hey, take a jacket." I'm like, "What are you thinking? It's hot outside." What she knew is what the weather was going to be at 3 o'clock. And here in Arkansas, it changes quick. It was going to be like 30-something degrees at 3 o'clock, and I needed a jacket. So thankful, and there's many times in our life that we need to be thankful for our moms for planning ahead.
Yeah, and talking about planning ahead, of course, we talk about an L word that we don't really like, and it's lazy. And in verse 27, just picking out another quality, she looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Idleness there can describe laziness. And so the mom, the wife, the woman of faith is just somebody who is not lazy, who is very diligent in doing all of the things that we've been discussing.
Absolutely, and she makes those plans, and she always wants to plan ahead, and she wants to take care of the family, and as you said, wants to make sure we're not lazy, and she does that by leading by example. And so all those times talking about go clean your room, go take out the trash, go do these, that's teaching us things that we need to be thankful for. I know you probably got a story about when you was a kid, and stuff you found in your bedroom because you didn't clean your room.
Oh, yes, absolutely I do. We lived out on a farm, Rob, and I'm just going to say 2 words: pig eyes.
Pig eyes.
Pig
Wow.
eyes, yeah.
We're going to probably have to talk about that one in a whole different episode of Two Church Tuesday.
Yes, we can do that.
We'll get back to that. I know for me, it was kicking the socks up under the bed and wondering why my bedroom stunk all the time.
Ooh, and you were an athlete too.
Yeah, I had to have new socks, fresh socks, because all my sweaty socks didn't. Anyway, I didn't clean up my room, and so that's what the moms can teach you in your life of how to take care of things, and that's what a woman of faith can do.
Yeah, and looking back, I mean, Rob, what do we call this woman of faith? I look back at all the wonderful things that ladies, that my mother did for me, women of faith did for me, but what's something that we can call them that Solomon calls them?
Calls them blessed. My goodness, in verse here it says in verse 28, and I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of chapter 31 for us. Verse 28 says, her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. And this is a beautiful passage of Scripture here because it says a lot of things that she is to be blessed, that she is to be praised, and I think we need to do that. And this past Sunday, we were able to do that on Mother's Day, and hopefully you had a chance to do that as well. But it says something else, Sean, that I do want to bring out in this Scripture. It says, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. There's a lot of things that the world sometimes will tell us that we're supposed to be, especially when it comes to women. I can think of a place that we can go right now. You ever been to Hollywood?
Actually, I have been to Hollywood. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I haven't been, so let's go.
You'll go? Yeah.
Ready? Here we are in Hollywood. And I know a lot of times we watch the movies that are made here and we get this idea of what women are supposed to be, and even men, of what we're supposed to be. But the Bible clearly tells us that a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. It says charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. Those things can fade away, but there's one thing that can stand strong, and that is faith. Faith in the Lord. That will remain, and that is what the Bible tells us is to be attractive. Absolutely there.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in this Tuesday. We had a week off last week, but we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, next week. In the meantime, let's go to Hawaii. You ever been to Hawaii? I've been.
Nope, never been to Hawaii. Always wanted to go.
Let's go to Hawaii. Ready? We'll see you guys next week when we get back from Hawaii.
Thanks.